Hi everyone, it's Roland Cloutier, Global Chief Security Officer and Digital Enablement Executive. Welcome back to another episode of Security Sparks, Insight for Pros, our series sponsored by Hybrid Pathways, a New Era company. Today's topic is protecting your business from fraud. During tax and bonus season, we often see an increase in fraud targeting our businesses both internally and externally. Although companies differ in size and industry, there are some key considerations that all security programs can make to aid their business in fraud defense, even if it's not a prime responsibility of the cybersecurity teams. Although there are many types of fraud that could be perpetrated against your businesses, we're going to focus on some of the most common ones. These are threats like misappropriation, money movement fraud, financial statement fraud, which is typically an insider threat, and financial transaction fraud. For today, we'll discuss some high-level opportunities that can help reduce your fraud threat exposure in general. Since I'm talking to predominantly business protection security folks, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but there really are some key things that you can do to focus on when it comes to safeguarding the computer and technology aspects of your business against fraud. If you haven't implemented a critical asset protection program, you should consider doing so. These are programs that ensure that the most critical assets to your organization are always updated, secured, monitored, and that everyone knows how to respond when there are issues associated with them. Get started with doing this on your financial systems. Whether they are enterprise-level systems within your own data centers or they are third-party SaaS products, create a mechanism by which you can monitor the basics of access and transactions to those systems and train your responders on how to respond to them. Again, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but EDR and anti-malware or anti-ransomware technologies are critically important to ensuring that malware that can be used to perpetrate fraud isn't introduced into your environment. If you haven't finished deploying EDR in a meaningful and holistic way, do it now. Another area of risk you need to focus on is business email compromise, or BEC as a lot of us call it, as it is one of the fastest growing areas of fraud against organizations. The best way to combat this beyond education and consistent end user awareness is through the implementation of malicious email defense programs that utilize artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other advanced features to understand where emails are coming from, what they are asking for, and recognize business compromise attacks when they see them. Access control and identity management processes that remove former employees and enforce non-shared accounts policies are also a great idea. Often people use the cover of shared accounts or accounts belonging to former employees to perpetrate frauds, making subsequent investigations rather difficult at times. By removing that type of shared or unidentifiable access, you reduce the probability of this avenue leading to fraud attacks. Now, transaction logs are also super important. Even if you can't stop fraud, the opportunity for you to successfully investigate and understand what occurred, claw back the money, and prosecute those responsible may hinge on key transaction logs that show who did what and where money went. And last, in the area of cyber and technology, consider implementing internal controls and systems that actually monitor for fraud. Although it depends on the size of your business, the industry you're in, and the technologies you use, there are plenty of technologies out there that look at things like financial planning and analysis, end-to-end financial statement fraud, and expense fraud. By deploying these, you increase your ability to detect and stop fraud exponentially. Finally, you should adopt operational safeguards within your business process. Now, many of these you may not be able to do as a security risk or privacy executive, but you certainly can help design and deliver policies that ensure the integrity of your financial systems and those controls that protect the financial well-being of your company. Some of these key operational safeguards include enabling and enforcing separate financial duties so no one person handles all aspects of the company's online transaction. Additionally, simple processes like transaction dollar limits for funding approvals and release of money movement are often overlooked. These are easy to apply and typically enabled in most ERP and financial money systems or by your bank. Next, implement dual approval controls so you can have multi-factor authentication for money movement and transaction assurance systems. Integrate financial alerting from banking platforms and financial applications into a specific fraud monitoring program for your security operations or fusion centers. Create runbooks, playbooks, and investigational process for when these alerts are received. Ensure your company does transaction auditing and review on a frequent basis. And if you are still printing checks, use security features such as watermarks, thermal ink, and identifiable borders. Many large corporations have expensive fraud protocols, but unfortunately, many too small to mid-sized businesses and even enterprises that aren't in fraud-prone industries don't consider themselves at risk. The sad reality is that every business is at risk. Hopefully, I've sparked some insights that will help you think about how you can better protect your business against fraud, and I'm looking forward to bringing you our next edition of Security Sparks, Insight for Pros.